Hello and welcome to Online Marketing Mastery Question and Answer episode number 11. In this session we are going to answer a question from Yvonne G, who has a mold removal company. And she wrote in and asked, is it possible my site can rank on the first page of Google without applying any SEO to it? And my really short answer to that is probably not. And I'm going to explain why that is for you, Yvonne. You see, Google is just really nothing more than a giant computer that reads data. And so you have to be able to supply Google the correct data in the correct format and so forth in order for Google to really understand what your website is even about. Now, if you don't do this, or you don't do it in the right way, there's a really good chance that Google really will have no idea what your site is about at all. So you really have to think about the fact that if you want Google to understand what your site is about, then you're going to have to provide certain data in certain places to Google. And if you don't, there's going to be other people out there who are going to supply Google with that information. And at that point, your site it's going to get buried in the search results, certainly not going to be on page 1, probably not 2 or 3 even, simply because all of these other people are supplying Google the appropriate and necessary data, and you're not, if you're not doing anything at all in terms of search engine optimization for your site. Now let me give you an example of what I'm talking about here, because earlier I said your site will probably not. But I am going to give you an extreme example of how it might actually rank without applying any or at least very, very little search engine optimization to it. So let's say, for example, I'm going to show you the difference here. If you're searching how to lose weight, all right, which is what you see in this search column right here, there are 829 million results in Google. So what that's saying is Google believes there are 829 million websites that are related to how to lose weight. Now, if you just think of that at its core, if you did nothing at all to optimize your site for the search engine, obviously it's very unlikely that with 829 million other results that your site is going to show on the first page. But let's dig down a little bit deeper. If we run a little query string and we see how many of those websites have how to lose weight in the title, that's what this means right here, in title, colon, and then whatever you want your title to be, in this case, how to lose weight, we then see there are 27 million, almost 28 million websites. So this title is one of the data points, and a very important data point that Google reads to try and discover what your site is about. So in this case, we went from 829 million down to 27 million. Okay, obviously a big difference here, but also obviously if your site does not even have how to lose weight in the title, again, very unlikely that it's going to rank. Now, weight loss is a very, very difficult keyword, and I'm using it as an extreme example to illustrate what I'm talking about. So again, if you did nothing at all to your site, then all of the people who have how to lose weight in their title are going to be ahead of you, and especially when there's almost 28 million of them, right? So let me show you the other extreme where it's possible that your site could rank without any optimization at all. And that would be the opposite extreme of what I'm showing you here, which is, let's say you have something really silly that you're trying to optimize your site for, or rank for, or be found for. And let's just say that that is maximum super terrific band-aids. Okay? Even then, Google says there's 169,000 results for that. Now, obviously, we know that it's not maximum super terrific band-aid specifically, because most likely, as far as I know, there's no real product like that, which is why I picked it. So it's probably pulling off of band-aids or bandages and things like that. But now let's just say that that's what your site was about. You've gone from 28 million to 169,000, and then you would want to see, well, how many people have that in their title? And you would see that none do. Okay, in the title did not match any documents. So if you had a website and the contents and maybe the URL of the site had something about super terrific band-aids in it, or maximum super terrific band-aids in this case, there's a chance that it would rank on page 1, maybe even number 1, without you doing anything else, just simply because there is nobody else going for maximum super terrific band-aids. Now, also, it would probably only show up for that search term and nothing else. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that I would argue that if you were to put a maximum super terrific band-aids in the title of your website, I would almost guarantee you that you would rank on page 1 and most likely number 1. But that also is doing a little bit of search engine optimization. So I don't know how literal your question is, but hopefully by me illustrating this one specific data point, and a very important data point, you could see why it's not very likely or realistic that a site can rank on page 1 of Google, considering other competition that may be out there for the same product or service that you offer. So as I just said, this is just one example of a data point, and that's the only way Google can actually determine what your site is about and determine where should it probably be ranked in the search engine results. Now, there are dozens and dozens and dozens of other variables and data points that affect where your site places in the search engine results. But just to list a few other important data besides the title that we just talked about, there's meta description, there's page content. So not only what is the content about, but how is the content structured? What type of keywords do you have in that content? At what frequency do you have those keywords in that content, and so forth? There's also tags. There's H1 tags, H2 tags, H3 tags. Think of those as H1 is a large overall topic, H2 is a subtopic, H3 as even a subtopic of that. Okay, so there's tags that Google reads. And what I'm mentioning here are the more powerful, important data points that are necessary to even begin the search engine optimization process. They also look at the power of your site. How powerful is it? Okay, and it gets a lot of that power from other websites that may be talking about or linking to your website. It looks at the authority of your site. So again, of those sites that are talking about your site and are linking to your site, how relevant are they to the topic that you're talking about? If they're highly relevant, it's going to make your site more of an authority in the specific niche that you are in. And then another is visitors. Is your site getting any visitors? And if so, how many visitors are they getting compared to others? Okay, that is another data point. So if your site has a lot of power, it has a lot of authority, and it has all of these other important data points, it's then going to look at, is it getting any other visitors? Because if it's not, then people may not like your site, and it may end up moving down in the search results. Now, hopefully this answers your question about whether or not it's possible to rank on the first page of Google without doing any search engine optimization at all to your site. And while you can see here most likely it's not very probable, it could be technically possible based upon what it is that you are looking to be found for. So as we wrap up here, as always, if you want to take advantage of our free video analysis, go to the spectorgroupdma.com and click on Get Started. You could also go to the right side of this page towards the bottom. You can find out more about that and get started there. Same with getting a free website report card. Go ahead and look at the top right of the page that you are on, or you can go to the spectorgroupdma.com and click on Website Report Card to take advantage of that free resource. If you have a question you would like to get answered as it relates to online marketing, go ahead and email us at hello@thespectorgroupdma.com. And if it's a question that we feel many would benefit from, we're going to go ahead and answer it in a forum just like we are right here. But if it's more specific to your particular circumstance, then we probably are just going to reach out to you and answer your question privately via email. So I appreciate you joining us for session number 11 and look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care.